Welcome back to Perspectives here on Arise News. Now, Fola David is an active medical doctor and a visual artist. As a master charcoal pencil user, he has done several exhibitions of his artworks across the globe. Popularly tagged Doctor by Day and Artist by Night, Fola David was nominated as a Young Physician of the Year award by Nigerian Medical Association in 2020. And the 40 Under 40 Africa Award for Charity and Philanthropy also in 2023. He was also awarded with an honorary doctorate from Miles Leadership University as a Doctor of Arts in 2023. In 2024, he masterfully completed the largest drawing in the world by an individual by creating 1,050 square meter image of the map of Nigeria, showing her various cultures, beating the former Guinness World Record size by over 350 square meters. This drawing now rests in its permanent site at the Lagos Free Zone. Good morning and welcome to Perspectives, Fola. You are so blessed. Height you have, looks you have, talent you have. Only you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
We're so proud of you for this record that you have created. So first tell us, how much time was spent in doing this and how did you even come up with the concept of what you were going to sketch in the first place?
The entire period was 6 days. I wasn't drawing the entire 6 days though. We had the morning session and then the evening sessions. But the first day we did only the night session, and then the next day we painted in the morning. The first 3 days I did a lot of work because I had a goal to beat the record, the current record at that time, on day 4, which happened. Day 4 we were able to surpass the record of 629, and then we would spend the other 2 days, 5 and 6, setting a new record up to 1,000 square meters. Okay,
but during the course of when you were painting, how long did you paint at a stretch before you now got a break in between?
The record is mostly size-based. You can take breaks as many times as you want.
Okay, so it doesn't matter how long it takes you to do the painting.
I could have done 10 days, 12 days. I could have done it in 10 years.
Oh.
It would still be, as long as I create a painting or drawing, that's the largest at that time.
Yeah, but is that actually fair? Because I mean, if you're going to if you're going to paint something for 10 years, how do you can justify because you have that much time to paint it?
Yes.
So I would have thought there was a time constraint of sort where you can do this, but it has to be done between a certain period of time.
There are other constraints. Trust me, there are other constraints that are much more technical. The size of the artwork, the composition of the artwork. Bear in mind, before this whole record was done, the artwork itself has to be certified by Guinness World Records. So you have to do it on a smaller scale and send it over to them. They're going to take their time, look at it, ensure that it is recognizable, and then send you back a feedback and tell you can go ahead. Your size must also be bigger than whatever it is. So if you take 10 years to do it, and within 10 years, someone else already beat whatever record you're trying to set, you would have wasted your time.
Okay, so actually, logically, it doesn't make sense to take too long.
It doesn't.
People
you have to be as quick as
records.
possible.
Yes, that's true. Now, but from the beginning of when you came up with this idea, that you dreamt of this idea, all the way to when you actually now physically did it, how long was it?
9 years. The first time was in 2015.
It was when you came up with this concept that you want to enter Guinness World Records.
Yes. At that time, it wasn't as popular as it is right now, which is one of the hurdles I had to pass, because back then we had to, the record is a very expensive record to break. Doing such a thing in the stadium for 6 days, we had that stadium for 9 days, which cost a lot of money. The materials, that canvas alone was very expensive. So finding someone who's ready to invest in such a project 9 years ago was the biggest task, and we couldn't do it. And
of course, you had to check the weather and what have you, because the worst nightmare would have been if it had rained.
The funny thing, the weather showed there was going to be rain 4 out of the 6 days we did the world record.
So why did you take that chance? Why did you take the risk?
I didn't have a choice.
No, because I would have thought that the day you were going to do it, you would have checked the weather, ensured that everything was okay.
The stadium is being used for so many different activities.
Oh, so it was the window that you could find a window. Oh my goodness.
And then you will find the window and check the first time I got the window, the rain was 3 days out of 6 days. About 2 weeks to the world record, it was showing me rain for 4 days out of 6 days.
Weren't you apprehensive? Because that would have destroyed your artwork, wouldn't it?
I think I just let it go. At the beginning, I was a bit scared. We were trying to build a cover to enable me to draw.
Build a tent?
2 days to the world record setup, I get a call and say the cover would not be possible.
Oh my goodness.
2 days, and what can I do in 2 days? So I just left it all.
So it was just a stroke of luck that it didn't rain.
It was God's power on the project.
Yes, you're truly gifted. So what about your sponsors? How long did it take for you to find a sponsor?
Like I said, the first time I had this dream was 2015. I was still in medical school. I think I was in my 500 level. I didn't find any sponsor for 9 years.
For 9 years, you were looking for, and they all turned you down.
I kept trying. I tried every year.
Nobody bought into the dream.
Nobody bought into the dream.
Why? Did they think that you couldn't achieve it?
It was expensive. It was expensive. I'm not sure really why anyone would want to buy into such a dream.
It's a Guinness World Records. It's rich enough.
But in 9 years' time from then, just by a stroke of coincidence or luck, I was in the same room with someone and he just overheard it. I wasn't even trying to pitch the world record to the person. It's like you're here now and I'm just chatting with someone and I just say, okay, the world record. And then you hear it and you say, Fola, what's that? I had world record. And I tell you what it is. And because you love Nigeria so much, I think that was the defining factor. You said to me, I would take care of everything. And that was how it happened.
So that was just a stroke of luck that you walked into the right place at the right time.
Exactly.
Okay, some would argue that Hilda Bach's win unlocked a Pandora's box, leading to some outrageous competitions. I mean, we've heard of non-stop crying for 7 days, non-stop reading aloud for 140 hours, not to mention an attempt to set a record for kissing non-stop. I think that was stopped in Ekiti State. But on a more serious note, shouldn't there be a level of preparation or practice that you need to do to avoid any physical mishaps? Because you must go through some training physically to carry on this arduous task.
Yes, the first thing people need to understand is the record doesn't just come like that. You have a set of guidelines you must follow, which are very strict. So for those kind of records, you do need to be sure that you're going to do it. You're just going to be wasting your time.
Exactly.
And wasting everybody's time. Definitely preparation is needed in whatever direction the world record is going to be. For my record, the experience was the most important thing. The experience I had gained over the years as an artist was very important for me in setting this record because I was drawing ink to canvas directly. There was no first layer or maybe a small sketch or anything. It was a direct.
Wow.
So any little mistake makes the whole thing something else.
So you made no mistake from the beginning to the end?
You mustn't make any mistake from the beginning to the end.
When you make a mistake, you sort of work around it.
Yes, you have to work around it. For me, it was important that there was no single mistake because, like I said, this image was already certified.
Okay, when you even tried it out that first time, because I mean, this is what, how many thousands of feet?
Yeah.
So obviously there was no issue of practicing it before you now translate it.
I didn't have to practice. I did it on a very small scale, like maybe an A4 paper.
Oh.
Yeah, it was a very small.
So how were you able to estimate how much mileage?
That's why I said the experience is very important. I was able to create something that large from a small piece of paper.
So you knew that what was 1 inch here would be...
Yeah, we had to multiply it and make it so much bigger.
So there's a bit of physics in there too.
Calculation.
Oh my goodness. Are you serious?
Yeah.
So, but at any given time, even during the course of when you now finally did this, was there any given time that you changed any concept in your whole package?
If you look at the image, we have the image of Mr. Steez, that's Farouk Oreagba, who went viral for Ojude Oba Festival. Yes. I changed that image about 3 days to the world record.
Wow.
There wasn't supposed to be any recognizable feature of a person. I intentionally did that because of the story I had. and how I resonated to that story. And so I imputed that for the Yoruba culture. Yes.
But did you include other cultures as well?
Oh, yes.
From the
I
Yoruba
traveled
culture?
around the country for about 3 to 4 months before this world record.
So that's where you got all your
I
different
went to
inspirations
experience
from.
every single culture that I was going to put on the record.
Okay. How did you feel when you won this record? And what has this done for your brand?
I had no doubt that I was going to break this record.
Are you
no
serious?
doubt, no doubt at all. What shocked me was the response from people. I didn't expect that many people. I didn't expect the love and the support. I was so shocked. A lot of times I was shocked. While I was drawing, I hear someone is coming. I'm, yo, how? Why?
Okay, we'll talk about that because
Yes.
I know that Nigeria, we are starved of good news and celebrations and milestones. So when we do see it, of course, we have raised with so much vigor, and we hope that this will also encourage others to take the same, path that you have taken. But we're going on a break soon. So we're going on a break, as I was saying to him, and we'll see you right back on Perspectives. Go grab a cup of tea and meet me back in another minute or two. See you soon. Okay, you were talking about how to put this project in place was very expensive and how you got sponsors for it. But as a world record breaker, are there any financial rewards for it? And how do you even apply?
So you don't get any
Okay.
payment for breaking a record. I think it's just more about the prestige and the glory. This record cost us, for now, at this point, was about 350 million naira to break this record.
Wow.
Yes.
To put that project in place cost
Yes.
you 350 million
Yes.
naira.
Yes.
Wow.
We traveled around the country with a film crew, a crew of 3 videographers. We are also going to drop a movie in about 2 months' time about this whole
in the
record.
process, like a documentary.
Yes. Also, that's for the record. Now, I have created this very big drawing. What do we do with this big drawing?
Exactly.
Now we are moving that to the permanent site at the free zone. My sponsors, Tolaram, are also going to, because they also sponsor the free zone, they're going to be the ones taking charge of that. It's costing us another 200 million to build a viewing center. We're building a viewing center where everybody can come and see this drawing
And it will be permanently
forever.
covered, I'm assuming.
Permanently.
Okay. It would have been nice to have it open though, because so you can see.
No, it's open. It's going to be open.
No, but I'm saying if you're from the plane or from the sky and you look down, you should be able to see it.
Yes, it's going to be opened up. Where the viewing center, we're going to open it up on the ground.
But how do you now preserve
elevated.
it for
It's going to be
rain,
covered
against
with
rain?
something like a lamination cover.
Okay, so you can see it through that
beautifully.
lamination cover.
And then a
Okay.
viewing center is built beside it where you can always view it
But
forever
what's
and ever.
Okay, that's good. That's beautiful. What's the process though to
To
apply?
applying. You go on the site, check for the kind of record you want to break, and make your case. Meaning you have to tell them what you plan to do, why you plan to do it, when, and all that, and you wait for a reply. When I did it 9 years ago, it was a bit straightforward. I think now it might be a bit more technical because I start hearing people have to pay for some records and all that. Back then, I didn't have to pay. And the
Okay,
good
that's
thing
interesting.
for me was I just kept reactivating my application every year.
Oh, okay.
I kept reactivating that, so I didn't have to go through the same process.
So, but there must be some form of, like, I've heard about speed painting that you
Yes.
also do.
Yes.
And explain what that is. And apparently you won a
Yes.
record on that so as well.
Yes.
So tell us what the mental process is like.
Being able to paint upside down in 5 minutes. So I can create portraits of people in 5 minutes upside down, and I do this in front of a crowd so people can enjoy the process and all that. For me, I find it very interesting, not just for the crowd, but for myself, because most of the times, being able to do that is very exhilarating.
So what do? You look at the chin first, and then your brain just works backwards. Or how does
it's just about breaking things into, for the world record, you mentioned how I was able to take something from an A4 paper and create it into 1,000 square meters. It's about taking sections. So in your mind, you have to break down everything you're doing into small sections and handle each section as it goes. And that's how speed
That's so
painting works.
fascinating because You're also a practicing medical doctor.
Yes.
I don't think a lot of people know that. And
Oh.
how do you, I mean, you've been called Doctor of Arts. How does this moniker, how does this combination of your two worlds reflect in your paintings?
I do a lot of work with my patients. I do a lot of work that talk about what I do as a medical doctor in terms of dermatology. I do a lot of work that has to do with the skin, showing skin concerns, trying to raise awareness so that the level of ostracization and stigmatization for different people living with certain skin conditions would be addressed and reduced. So I reduce the burden of pain on my patients. So that's how, being a medical doctor helps or influences my work as an artist, apart from talking about other socioeconomic issues like I did with the world record.
So do you paint, I think I read somewhere that you paint your diseases. You do
Yes, I do.
artwork of it and
I
stuff.
create artworks of it because
Wow.
I want to show people a different way to view their conditions.
Okay.
Yes.
That's interesting. I wish we had some of it to show. But I'm going to ask you now, if you had to look back in time, because you're passionate about art, you're passionate. If you had to go back and reinvent yourself again, which profession would you choose and why?
I hope I will be able to make the same choices because where I am now, it's very interesting for me. I don't think it would be easy for me to get this again. If I go back, knowing what I know now, I would choose again the same things.
Yeah, but have you been able to, because I mean, medicine is a very technical, very
Yes.
deep, very time-consuming course.
Yes.
How have you been able to sail through that like hot knife on butter and still have time to do your painting, which is also time-consuming?
It's
Start from your school. How did you go through school and pass with flying colors?
For me, I would say it's more like my first gift, which is being able to absorb so much information. I consume knowledge very quickly, so it was easy for me to go through school and still focus on something else. I was able to go through school and ace my exams while I was drawing. Trust me, I was painting all through medical school. I'm not saying anybody should try it, but I was mostly painting all through medical school and drawing and building that career of Fola David while I still became Dr. Badamasi Adefemi.
Oh, okay. But if you look back or in future years and you meet people who are like you, like-minded
Yes.
like you, or who have talents that could be harnessed and to make them earn their livelihood from it, do you think they still necessarily have to go through the conventional system of going to university, going to school,
Okay.
Yes.
Or
if they find that talent early enough, they
Yes.
choose to follow that path? What would
If you find your talent early enough, definitely follow your talent. The talent has its own grace and abilities that come with it. Things will open up for you if you find your talent early enough. I'm launching my art academy in 2 weeks to help to identify young talents and give them everything they need to make sure that they are going through it at the right pace with the right direction. So yes, if you find your talent early enough, you should focus on that.
So what advice would you give to, because I mean, a lot of people, like I said, have tried different attempts at this
Yes.
Guinness World Records. Some of them haven't succeeded and what have you. So what advice would you give to those to make them hang on to their dreams and not, able to overcome their challenges? Because there are challenges that you must have faced
Yes.
before you got to where you are. So if you can share some of them with us and also advise people on how best to attain their goals.
I would say the best thing is coming from a point of impact. What are you trying to do with your record or with your dream? What's the impact about? If your impact is positive and it's going to create change in people's lives for better, and then I really strongly believe you shouldn't let go of that. You should continue making focused moves towards that dream. As long as it would take, it's still going to be in front of you. The problem is we just see time and we're worried. But it is in front of you. So just focus on that dream and keep going towards it, and I'm sure you will make it.
So are we going to set another world record anytime soon?
It's very possible for me. It's very possible. I have some really interesting records I was hoping I would break because I've had 9 years to think about records.
Well, you're still young now. You have another 5 or 6 years to come up with another one.
Yes.
So maybe this time it will be a whole state building.
Something nice.
Look forward to it. Thank you so much for being with us this morning and sharing your very inspirational story with us.